All right. Well, hello again. Thank you all for tuning into the Professional Pricing Society podcast. My name is Terrence, and you know what? We're diving into the topic of artificial intelligence today as it relates to pricing. However, before we begin our discussion, I got to remind you guys that we're going to be in Dallas, Texas this upcoming May. Okay, so the 34th annual Spring Pricing Workshops and Conference will be taking place first week of May. To learn more about that conference and to register your seat in the house, be sure to visit our website at pricingsociety.com. Our guest today is Kiran Gange, CEO and founder of AI-based company Rapid Pricer. He's going to be speaking with us about how to best utilize AI in the B2B pricing realm. Kiran has consulted on behalf of large consulting companies such as PwC, IBM, and Kirk Salmon at some of the largest retailers in the world. His entrepreneurial experiences include successful ventures in the Silicon Valley area, Mexico City, Bangalore, Amsterdam, and New Delhi, which is where he's speaking with us today. Kiran, how are we doing today?
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Terrence.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Kiran also is going to be at our conference this upcoming May. Is that correct, Kiran?
Yes, looking forward to. I haven't been back in the US for a few years. It'll be fantastic to come and see everybody there.
Good, good. We're very excited to have you. Of course, you already know that. But let's go ahead and dive into our discussion about AI in the pricing realm. So, what impact has artificial intelligence had in B2B pricing?
Well, AI has been a big influence in many industries, and it is going to do so in the future also. If you see reports from some of these big consulting companies, the impact AI is going to have just in pricing is huge, humongous. It is already making an impact. It is not obvious to the naked eye to see what kind of an impact it is doing right now, because all of the AI right now is in the back-end processes, and that will slowly change as it becomes more of a front-end process. So people can actually see and use like a tool themselves instead of that happening in the back end. But the impact is already big, and it's going to be much bigger in the future also.
Okay. Okay, understood. Now, not everybody is a programmer in the realm of artificial intelligence or has the expertise as someone as yourself does. How can we start to incorporate AI in B2B pricing?
I'd like to give you this example. I use this example in the past also. It's like you don't need to know what's happening in the engine of a car to drive the car, right? So you don't need to know coding for artificial intelligence to leverage artificial intelligence. Even further, you don't even have to know driving these days. You could sit in an Uber and somebody else who's good at it will do it for you. But you do need to know where you are going. You need to set your destination. You need to choose your mode of reaching there. And then the AI will be there to take you there. So it's okay for you not to be a programmer, but it's not okay for you to, not know about what is the capability of AI and how you can use it. Where can you go there? Where can you reach with AI is more important than knowing how actually to use AI. Because the fun thing about AI is the automation is automating the process of coding also as well. So that is becoming less and less relevant to know all of this anymore. So right now, Terrence, so I'm at this workshop in Dallas. I'll tell you more, but
Sure.
I can give you some examples of how AI is impacting B2B right now also as well. So say, for example, if there is a huge source of data, right? It's like all of the transactions of how every car was purchased in United States, right? To use the data, there is a lot of AI being used to store the data, to process it, to clean it, to make it ready for the models to be used so that it becomes a clean dashboard for you to make a quick decision. That is already AI you are using today, right? So that is an example of how things are being done in the back end. Now, coming to the processes, if you were to look at patterns in your data, right, you could use a lot of tools which leverage AI to tell me the patterns in your data, analyze customer purchase behavior, right? How likely is somebody going to buy? All of these are algorithms which are already, it's like, you don't have to cook the dish. The dish is already served for you. You have to take
Sure.
it out of your plate and consume it, because the
Sure.
process of making the dish has already leveraged AI in many aspects. Um, I had this very interesting discussion come up in another workshop earlier, where how can we use AI to really solve a challenge in B2B pricing, right?
Hmm.
The B2B, there is a lot of intuition involved, a lot of experience involved, right? So it's not just press a button and some sale will happen. A
Hmm.
human being actually has to process all of this information to make a better decision and to close the deal in most cases. So you could use AI to analyze how people are having a conversation. It could be a meeting, it could be an email, or it could be like an actual physical space where people are meeting,
Hmm.
to analyze the intent of the other person. Is he trying to be nice when he says he's going to be getting back to you?
Mm.
Or is he really interested in it? And the AI can make distinctions between cultures, between age groups, experience, and make a good recommendation for you. So you become wiser in closing the deal. That's a real example of how you and I today can leverage AI with a very simple software built by somebody else who's gonna help you make this better decision in your pricing for B2B.
I love how you broke it down using the analogies. It's like a car. You don't have to know what's going on necessarily
Exactly.
under the hood to drive it. And the same thing with the dinner, the food. You don't have to necessarily know how to cook everything to eat it as well. So the main goal is according to what you're saying, is just having an idea of where you want to go with it. Where your destination is.
Yeah.
And then of course you got into algorithms, customer behavior, regarding how AI can be used in pricing is very important.
Yes. What are the possibilities also is very important to know, right? Because if you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
Mm,
If you know that there is a tool which it's like an API, or like a, what do they call it? It's like it's an add-on you can add to your Outlook, say for example,
hmm.
which can analyze the contents of an email to tell you what is the win probability,
Mm,
or somebody might be looking for a discount or whatever else it is. That is a possibility you need to know.
okay.
That is possible. I need to explore this. If you don't do it, then it'll never come up that easily, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this workshop will do. I'll talk about all the different possibilities, and
Hmm.
I'll also talk about the very basics of AI. Terence, you and I started this conversation saying you know nothing about AI,
Hmm.
but AI is so simple when you break it down, right? It's just like a human brain. So with examples, I will walk through what's going on behind these weights of the calculation, so that it makes a decision between either a dog or a cat a
Hmm.
human being is likely to buy or not. All of these are very simple weighted calculations at the core of AI,
Mm.
which I love explaining, as you can tell.
Sure, which is good.
You should come join too.
I might just go ahead and hop into that discussion. But
Yes.
cool, awesome. Now we kind of have a better grasp of where AI currently is in today's world, but where do we see AI going in the future regarding B2B pricing? Where do you see it going, I should say?
Yes, I think it's gonna become a lot more automated.
Hmm.
When we started out, it was just with, okay, better computing power uses AI. Then the data processing uses AI. Then the insights are using AI, right? Then the recommendations are using AI. The price points are using AI. Then it goes closer to a point where it becomes automated, right? If somebody expresses an interest, it's like your chatbot. The
Hmm.
whole process becomes a little bit more automated. What needs to
Hmm.
be said next? And maybe in the initial stages, it will require you to approve. The AI might say, hey, listen, Terence, based on this conversation you had, this is the email you should send, and these are the folders you should attach, or
Hmm.
like documents you should attach, and these are the people you should copy. Do you approve? Say yes, right? It gets to become a lot more automated, one step at a time. It's gonna reach there, but it is you need to know to make it happen a little bit faster for you, what's possible, and then how can
Hmm.
you leverage the best out of AI,
Hmm.
basically. but I don't think there will be a world where the robots will come and replace all of us.
Sure.
Um, but maybe in the very distant future. But in the immediate future, it's gonna be like, how do we close this deal more automatically, efficiently, basically.
So it sounds like it's made to make our decision making a lot more seamless, it sounds like. Now, thinking about companies, what kind of organizational structure do you think is needed to build an AI solution?
So really, unless you are a huge organization, right? Almost always, I believe no company should have an AI data scientist. I mean, you can have some to give you insights,
Hmm.
but if you're like a medium-sized organization, or let's say less than 100 employees, then definitely use the services of another company to do it for you, who already specialize in this area, all right? And then use these apps and use these tools which everybody can use inside your organization to get there. And then they're not very expensive sometimes if you know how to use them.
Sure.
Yes. So AI strategy education is necessary for everybody,
Mm.
but artificial intelligence coding might not be necessary for everybody. So use freelancers. Right now, freelancers have really taken over a lot of the taken off a lot of the headache for organizations, right? I don't need to worry about how do I keep somebody busy. I have my own startup and I
Hmm.
work with at least 50% of my resources are freelancers now, right?
Oh, wow.
So they're very specialized. And
Yeah.
sometimes I set up a pyramid kind of a structure where I have one scientist who earns close to $500,000 a year. I can't afford him full time. He only
Sure.
works for 2 hours, but he tells the rest of the team what they need to do. And the team have a lot more people who are helping them
Mm.
to get to the end goal.
Mm.
Imagine bringing the triangle inside my organization full time. I can't afford that, and I can't get that level of quality,
Hmm.
right? So I strongly suggest explore, at least until you get used to the deliverables, explore working with the structure of having a really knowledgeable person being the solution architect for you,
Hmm.
and having the rest of the team maybe as freelancers or like vendor companies to help configure these quick wins in AI for you. And then one other good place to start is I can compile a list of links for this workshop maybe, but there are lots of cool apps you can just download and start using just now, right? How do you create a proposal
Mm.
for your using AI? We've all heard about Chat GPT now, but a lot more apps built to help the businesses are already out there. But it's always a catch-up game, right? There's a new app coming out every week.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, definitely not rocket science to get it going for us, Terrence.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, it's good to know that this is not rocket science. It's good to know that there are, beginner tools that companies can utilize, just starting out, especially, thinking about freelancers and going down that road as well. But artificial intelligence in the B2B pricing world, something that sounds like it's really starting to expand and grow as time progresses. All right, Karen Ganga, I really do appreciate your time with us today. Friendly reminder to all the listeners, Mr. Kiran is going to be spearheading a workshop discussion titled How to Best Utilize Artificial Intelligence in Pricing with us in Dallas, Texas, March 2nd through the 5th during that conference week. So be sure to go ahead and visit our website to learn more about the conference and also to register as well. Kiran, for those who may be interested, do you have any places where people can get a hold of any of your materials or resources, or just to learn more about you or Rapid Pricer?
Yes, absolutely. So, in fact, I would like to mention a few things. One, please add me on LinkedIn if I can be of any help, if I can help you prepare for this workshop or help you understand what will be covered. My name is Kiran Gange. You could also visit my website. So I do have a business which uses artificial intelligence in pricing. However, we do retail pricing. So the website is rapidpricer.com. And in mid-year this year, I have a book coming out on
Okay.
how to do pricing. Again, it will be for B2C. and the
Okay.
Expert Guide to Retail Pricing, it is called. So these are the places you can learn more. I suggest you connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll make it more customized for you. But looking forward to connecting with you either online or at the workshop directly. And thank you very much for having this call, Terence. As you can see, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Love to do
Absolutely.
more of this at the workshop.
Absolutely. He just Kieran gave us a little bit of a teaser from today's discussion, but he will be going a bit deeper in his discussion at the workshop. So thanks so much again, Kieran. We'll see you in May. For everyone else, have a good one. Bye-bye.